right, welcome to Current Status. We are live at VMworld and Tech Field Day. Today, we have some special surprises for you. My name is Teresa Miller, and you can find me on Twitter at 24/7 IT Connect.
And I'm Justin Warren. You can find me on Twitter as at JP Warren.
And I'm Pumla Schmidt, and you can find me on Twitter as Exchange Goddess. Well, we're here in San Francisco, and there's sort of a party going on right now. I'm not sure why everybody else is here, but I'm here for VMworld. And as you guys can tell, I've got a bunch of people behind me, and they look like geeks. They're head geeks.
Head geeks, absolutely. Yeah, here for VMworld. We've got our booth at the show. It's sort of a petting zoo to come talk to the product managers and the rest. We're going to bring any salespeople with us. And thanks again for being on SolarWinds Lab. That was really great to have you on the show.
Yeah, did you like my Jimmy Choos?
I thought they were really great, and we kept you from hurting Leon, so that's really good.
Yeah, I know. Actually, we were going to exchange shoes this morning.
Well, he borrowed your shoes. It was awkward.
Well, you tried to squeeze in my shoes.
I did, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah, and ooh, that's champagne.
Should I pass this to you, sir? Yes.
And what are you doing here?
I'm hanging out with them.
Yeah, oh, I thought you were here to see the seals.
Oh yeah, sea lions, that too.
Sea lions. Yeah.
Pier 39.
I got a tattoo there the other year.
Did you?
I was actually telling the world. That was VMworld 2013. So.
What does it say? SQL Rockstar?
No,
No, it doesn't, and it doesn't say Exchange Goddess either.
No?
So, what do you guys think of the show so far?
It's been great, to be able to catch up with all our virtual friends and make new virtual friends, customers, and so forth. Of course, we're blessed with Exchange Goddess, so.
Well, we're like brother and sister.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. What a hoot! And we have, instead of wine, we have mimosas because it's not.
It's before lunch.
Yeah. We're proper.
We're classy that way.
Yeah, keep it classy.
Yeah, we all have our mimosas.
We do.
Yeah, I have some questions. So we know how you feel about the show. There's a lot of excitement. Any announcements that stand out to you guys as you're attending?
I think it's interesting, the announcements around following suit with what Microsoft did around Nano Server and continuing and so forth. That I think that's an interesting buy. I think a lot of the technologies around their release made it. I mean, it was already talked about earlier in the year and so forth. But the fact that the keynotes this year have stayed away from the renaming, like we realize this, we realize that, and has gone into some more meatier trend topics, I think that's a boon for VMware.
I'm V confused. Or last year I was V confused.
Yes.
Well, it was also really big confusing because last year they were still talking about technology a lot, and a lot of the conversations seemed to be more business level. What is this actually going to do? What is it going to deliver? Not so much, here's how to actually get NSX running, for example. So not quite so much API or protocol led and the rest of it. So they're actually, we constantly find geeks feeling like they want to be more a part of the business and they really have something to offer, and that you can bring your years of experience to actually make a difference for the business. And they're sort of beginning to listen a little bit more and hearing actual practitioners talk about the business, not just what am I going to get? How am I going to get a PO to get a SAN? That's something that we're really happy to see.
Well, without the business, you don't have a business.
Well, that's true, but
so you have to listen to the business.
Yeah, but as geeks, I mean, how many times do you get attracted to fields and technology just because it's fun, or you like playing with the parts? And especially earlier in your career, and as you get a little more mature, you start to realize if I can actually map this to something useful for the executives, not only do you get better toys, but your career will develop better as well.
Well, they're bringing value.
Yeah,
Right.
it's always a balance, right? Because you can't have technology just for technology's sake, because it has to solve a particular problem. And that's where the business utility, to your point, it has to be useful for the business, because if we just play in our sandlots, I could be up in AWS or vCloud Air or you name whichever virtual stream. But if it's not purposeful, then it's not meaningful at all.
So we can't just have the cool latest and greatest toys.
Not anymore. They actually wanted to do something.
So what do you think of the kind of app and developer focus, particularly from yesterday? There seemed to be a lot of talking about developers and application stuff. To me, it felt like the crowd wasn't really paying that much attention to what was going on. What do you think?
do people get on the DevOps wagon or not conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how many times do you see, when you're a part of ops, you're held accountable for making just creaky, especially one-off code or badly implemented third-party packages, actually getting those running, as opposed to making the people accountable that are actually doing the development or have selected the technology. And one of the things that I'm hearing, we're hearing a lot, is practical DevOps, especially sort of for SMBs where maybe a smaller team is responsible for more. And when you take the person who's the developer or maybe the application deployment engineer and occasionally let their phone ring at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, code quality goes way, way, way up. And of course, the main benefit to you in IT is that your support costs go down for the service delivery and for that for ops. So I think we're seeing people begin to get that. So it's not so much talking about DevOps, but how to actually make it practical. And then one of those first ones is to get dev involved and give them some skin in the game for when trouble occurs, because quality goes up.
That was a really great statement there. Everyone got quiet.
Everyone got quiet. Is that good? Oh, it's either that or it's completely nuts, and everyone's going, "Oh, where's he going with this?" Yeah.
We're like, X.
What do you say
Yeah,
next?
it was a great answer. So just drop the mic.
Yeah.
In the background.
Golf clap.
Go stop. Yes.
Slow clap.
Slow clap.
Yeah, and that's early in the morning. I haven't got to the booth yet, so that's good. Normally, it would take me 3 hours of talking before I could make an answer like that.
That's like 2 glasses of wine for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. It looks like my head's actually attached to the lower third here.
It's like a bobble.
Yeah, I'm a bobblehead. It's really nice.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate
Yeah, and
it.
thanks for having us.
Yeah, so we have some more surprises.
Oh, yeah.
24th, 29th. The offer is, if you guys are ever in Austin, Texas, please do hit us up. We will take you out for V barbecue grill, V barbecue, and V brews for sure.
That's right. And we still got a few t-shirts left. That will not be the case by this afternoon in actual sizes. So come by the booth if you're here at the show and pick up the SolarWinds t-shirts, which look a lot like. Oh, no.
Oh.
Look at that. I like that.
Who hearts IT?
Very
Those
nice.
are
Very
awesome. Who doesn't heart IT?
All right. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
very much.
You
Thank
guys
you,
have a
guys.
great time, rest of the day. Okay, I need another sip of.
So
So
we
who
have
we
some
got
more.
next?
Yeah, who shall we have next? We have more guests here joining us. Surprise
We're gonna talk about
us.
cat pictures next. Cat pictures.
Okay, pictures, yeah.
Oh,
Cat-
yeah, let's do cat pictures.
Yeah, cat
All
pictures.
right.
I'm sorry, dog pictures. I'm a dog person. Yeah. We're gonna talk about. I love dogs. So yeah, how many dog pictures? Thousands. Yeah.
And they're in the cloud, and they're all over the place.
Do they fly in the cloud?
So I'm sorry. Who are we talking to?
We're just talking about dogs. Guys.
Well, we know our audience doesn't. So let's get that squared up.
Sorry about that. We just cats, dogs. Steve, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, Steve Keniston from Catalogic Software. You can reach me at the Storage Alchemist, or at S Keniston Storage Alchemist.
So, what brings you to San Francisco today?
VMworld, just like everybody else that's here.
How's the show been for you guys?
It's been really good. It's I'm still trying to figure out why we have all these cars on the show floor. We've gone from an auto show to an IT show. I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah, and they're really, really nice cars
They are
too.
nice cars.
But my whole thing with it is if you're giving a car away, I heard some of them, it's only like a 1-year lease. So I'm not sure. I know Teresa and I were talking. I don't think I can give that car up if I won.
I would not be able to give it up. So I would probably just take the money.
Yeah. I want the DeLorean.
You want the
I want
DeLorean?
the DeLorean. Yeah.
But I'm sure I would look good in the car. Of course, with my Jimmy choos. I would cry if I had to give it up. So, I guess the big question is, how many puppy dog pictures in the sand?
Millions, because everybody's putting them there. So Catalogic does what we call our copy data management, and it's pretty interesting to see even some of our German guys that are here doing presentations are actually doing the whole picture presentation. How many dog pictures do you have? And when you copy them, it's a good thing because you can find it on your phone or you can find it like on your laptop. But if you're in IT, do you really need that many copies of your dog?
I know you were on our show before earlier in the year, and we just talked about, how many copies of data, and it is becoming an increasing concern with enterprises. I know from my end, from an apps owner, looking at an archiving solution, and we're looking at, how many items are we archiving? I thought to myself, how many items are the same? And because we have millions and millions that we're archiving, but I'm sure we've got, probably 100,000 of the same Excel documents. And is that something that your product can do?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, when I was with a company called Avamar, you probably know Avamar, we were acquired by EMC, and we were in a little company. And when we were inside EMC, they wanted to find kind of how deduplication could help their environment. And they did a test, both in their archiving and just backup environments. They found for every one email you had 26 copies of that email. Right? That's just your email.
Oh, yeah.
Not everything else.
As an exchange administrator, yeah, I can totally believe that. And there's probably even more.
And you think about all of the different storage silos that you have where someone like, I thought the DevOps conversation was pretty interesting. Someone comes into IT, hey, I need a copy of production data to do development. I need it to do analytics. I need it to do reporting. Boom, IT makes another copy, and they usually use a different service to do that. But yet that service still makes a copy, optimizes it, moves it, and at the end of the day, you have all these copies and all these different storage silos. And from an IT perspective, it just becomes just a total nightmare. And it's hard to kind of drive that automation that IT is looking for, especially from a DevOps perspective, if they want to be able to kind of turn things over to the administrators to give them the flexibility to be creative. And from IT perspective, you don't want them making all these copies. It's just making more of a headache for you. So. And we handle that.
So from a compliance perspective, how does it know the difference between the versions, for example? Maybe they're not truly identical. Maybe there is some differences in it. Does the product actually dive in and take a closer look at what's in there and what's different to know that it truly is a duplicate?
So the way the technology works, it's a little bit around the concept of, hey, we don't change gravity, right? So we believe that a lot of the storage services that you've bought and paid for, things like snapshotting and replication, we leverage the APIs of the infrastructure, both VMware and your storage infrastructure, to be able to, whenever you take this snapshot, to follow the lineage of that and the correlation of that data through its life cycle. But we don't dive into the files themselves to kind of pull that compliance type story out of it. It's really about the control of where the data ends up.
Okay, that's really interesting.
So what else are you?
Any questions? Justin.
So what are you finding the customer adoption like? It seems to be a little bit of a difficult story to sell that idea of copy data management. How are you helping customers to understand what it is that you're actually trying to sell to them?
Yeah, so I think that's a great question, because I think in a lot of cases you find, in the IT organization, if you start talking about the different lines of business, the different use cases, clients want to be able to address a particular use case. I have a data protection challenge. I have a DevOps challenge. I have a analytics challenge. They want to solve that problem. Not a lot of clients have a copy data management budget. So you really have to go in and, they've heard the buzzword and they think it's interesting, but to get them over that hurdle, you really have to talk to them about what are some of the challenges that you're facing. And I think a lot of IT folks resonate with the fact that I do have a lot of storage services. I am making a lot of copies of my data. Now it's how do we help them get control? One of the big pieces that we find in our solution is the fact that we can provide a lot of automation and orchestration of those copies so that they can actually use them without having to go back and actually make the copy every single time they need it. We can do things like spin up test dev environments every morning, tear down the old one from last night. You don't get the data sprawl, and now the data is available. And that's something that, especially in a DevOps type of environment, is really resonating because they're getting that automation and orchestration.
It's almost like they don't know they have a problem until somebody sits down and says, you do have a problem. Like they have an idea. We sort of have this problem because we've got these copies everywhere, but what is it? What is our problem? We're just not sure what the name is.
Right. We put up this slide from IDC that talks about this $51 billion problem, and IT relates to vendors coming in telling them stories in big numbers, and they say, yeah, okay. But then when you start telling, well, you do backups, you do replication, you do snapshotting, you do vaulting, you're using all that data for different things. You probably have 50 copies, and no one has said no, we don't. They all go, yeah, you know what, we probably do, right? And that's how they kind of tie it all together.
Great. So, just thinking there. Oh, the expert gifts and then stopping by the booth. It looks. I got actually a really cool speakerphone for you guys.
Yeah. So we believe because we do a lot of the orchestration and the application consistency through our VMware APIs. We believe also the vExperts have a really strong incentive to really think about how this technology can help not only your storage infrastructure, but your application infrastructure. So if you're a vExpert, stop by the booth. We've got some gifts for you. We'd love to talk to you about the technology, see what you guys think. We're a new company. We take all the feedback. vExperts, they know a lot about what's going on. They know, like I talk about where the bodies are buried within IT. They can totally help us, and it's a good show. We're at booth 517.
Well, thank you for stopping by, Steve.
Thank you.
Guys. I really appreciate you guys having me on. Thanks.
Yeah, great to have you. All right, so
Who have we got next?
who is next?
It's just surprises. There's just like a line of people out there. Oh, green. Green's one of my favorite colors. Another former guest.
Hi, welcome back.
How are you guys? Good. I think everybody's having a good show so far. It seems like lots of good topics and things going on.
Definitely. So last year when we were here, vSAN was the topic at the Micron booth, and it looks like it's the topic again this year. So what's different between 2014 vSAN and 2015 vSAN?
Sure. So this year in the Micron booth, we have 3 different demos that we're showing. And this is really kind of exploiting SSDs into the vSAN, the benefits, right? The lower latency, better performance, that kind of thing. But essentially, these are all the new vSAN 6.0 certified. So these are our SAS drives and our SATA drives, SSDs.
And I completely apologize. We didn't have you introduce yourself. For those that haven't seen our previous shows.
Hi, I'm Janine Ellefson. I'm the product marketing manager for Micron for PCIe SSDs. So.
Just a little company, right?
Just a little company.
Just a little
tiny company.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions over there, Justin?
Yeah,
vSAN.
absolutely. We always have questions. So, so you have a lot going on over in the Micron booth. Have you had any opportunity to visit or any sessions or go to anything that maybe has you excited about, any new announcements or anything?
I unfortunately I was not granted the privilege of a full conference pass, so I have not had a chance to take advantage of some of the sessions, which is kind of a bummer because I really wanted to take part in that. But I have walked around the floor quite a bit, and it seems like there's lots of different things going on. All flash arrays are kind of still the big topic. So that's kind of exciting. Obviously, as an SSD provider, we want to sell SSDs. So we're excited about that. But I think overall, it just seems like there's a lot of activity. It seems that this is actually one of my favorite shows. I love to go to the show. So get to talk to real people that are doing implementations and deployments. And it's actually a good show for us. So
that's great. And this year there's no bacon at the booth. So,
I know. I am so bummed about that. So for those of you who have missed VMworld last year, Micron gave away bacon scented t-shirts because Micron SSDs are the bacon to your enterprise, basically. And at another show, we also did chocolate scented ones. I have to say the chocolate scented ones were much better. The bacon ones after a couple of days.
Yeah, they smelled really good.
I
my t-shirt.
I can imagine.
But this year, no scented shirts. I was a little bummed about that. Got to do something different every year. So
yeah, to spice it up a little bit.
yeah, I think we should have like chili pepper or something.
Oh, like ghost chili pepper Micron t-shirts.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know, somebody rubbing it in their eye might not go so well.
So how about ice cream next year?
Oh, that would be so awesome. Yeah,
Ice cream.
vanilla
Scented.
flavored or some other wonderful tropical fruit, mango. I'd probably get
There
over
you
the
go.
top here.
Yeah. You associate Micron with like ice cream. Only I could do that though. I think Micron, ice cream, bacon, all the good stuff.
Exactly. But I think overall we're having a lot of fun, and as fun as we can have, anyways. And like I said, it's really been awesome just getting conversations going and lots of good stuff going on in the Micron booth.
So what do you think is the big thing this year from VMworld, out of all the announcements? And how does that affect your business?
I think, well, there's lots of things going on, but I think the vSAN 6.0 is that's been kind of the focus on the Micron side. And so we're really focused on, just implementation and how SSDs can, provide value to customers, right? I think at the end of the day, IT dollars are still strapped and people are having to do more with less, and data's growing, and how can we make things stronger, better, faster? I mean, really at the heart of everything that we do from an IT perspective, it's stronger, better, faster, always. So what are the kinds of things that solutions that Micron can provide that will help, feed into that? So
Great. Well, thank you for stopping by, Janine.
yeah, thank you for having me. It's been
Thank
great.
you.
Thanks,
Always a
Janine.
pleasure.
Wow. I think we still have more guests back there.
We do.
It's like,
We
who are we
do.
going to get next?
Gina.
Gina.
We're like high-fiving over here. So we know your first name is Gina. Can you tell us a little about yourself, Gina?
Well, I'm from Florida. I live in
Long
Austin.
walks on the beach.
I like long walks on the beach. I like the stars and the moon. I'm from, I live in Austin. I work for Spanning Backup, which was acquired by EMC back in the fall. Product marketing manager there for their Office 365 product.
You said Office 365. So why are you at VMworld?
Why are you at VMworld Exchange, guys?
Well, there's the whole mobility aspect, which I found very fascinating this morning from the general session, but we can talk more about that a little bit later. Yeah, I just was like, whoa, I really like this.
Yeah, cool. It was interesting watching it because where I work now is a pure SaaS company. Absolutely everything that we're talking about, and that they do talk about DevOps, all of that. We have an amazing, very productive, cohesive team that does it. So I see it in action every day. So it's kind of interesting watching that permeate down into typical traditional type of IT environments. It's awesome.
About that, Gina. So, I mean, you're actually seeing what it's like to have a real DevOps team, and you've worked in large enterprises before. How easy do you think it will be for enterprises like your traditional enterprise to actually adopt some of that DevOps culture that you see around you every day?
I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic because for me, I was a sysadmin long ago, and I see some of the things that they do. I'm so jealous because I'm like, dang, if we could have only done this 15 years ago when I was doing that, my life would have been so much easier. And our developers and our support, they all work together. Just everything that they're supposed to flow together and feel the pain together, they do that now. They're so open and transparent. So I'm not sure what it takes to get there. I think it probably has a lot to do with the environment, just the environment of how people communicate and work together and do things. That's probably more important, I would guess, maybe than the technical skill. You need to know how to do things in a faster, more agile manner, but you can't do anything faster and more agile if you don't trust everybody around you to be open and honest and do the right things. I think it's a people thing more than a technology thing.
I would agree on that. Bringing
I would
people
too.
together.
Everything is
Yeah.
a people problem. Yeah.
It's all about the users.
The users.
What is it? Is this Tron?
Well, could be.
All right, I get the light cycle.
So, Gina, what do you feel you are most excited about being here in terms of what you've maybe been exposed to out in the conference hall and
Number one, seeing everybody, because this is, I think Crystal Lowe has talked about, I've heard her say that this is like a big family reunion, and it really is. I mean, I was at EMC before I was at Dell, and now I'm back at EMC, but I still am really close to my people I worked with at Dell, and all the other people that we've worked with over the years are different companies. So that's number one, is just seeing everyone, catching up, seeing what projects they're working on. Number two is just talking to users. I mean, my product is so different than, traditional EMC products. So it's kind of nice to be able to talk about something that no one's really talking about here too.
Great.
Are you having fun?
I'm having a lot of fun. Like you said, it is a family reunion. But what I think one of the biggest things that I like to think about coming to VMworld is just seeing how it's changing in terms of our earlier conversation about shifting to the business, and it's really interesting. Before it was just all about infrastructure. Now it's business. It's connecting people. It's any apps, any device, and it's almost like they're getting it.
Right, yeah.
They're really getting it, because it's just not about IT. It is the business. Without the business, you don't have an IT. You don't have a business. The business is what makes the money.
That's right.
And it seems like they're getting it, and they're starting to focus on that, making the business happy. So
one more thing I wanted to ask you. Finally. Last night, V-Ladies Night, was the best night I've ever had at any VMworld ever. It was the most chill, awesome thing, and I loved it.
Yes, V-Ladies Night.
We had an awesome time.
Everything's with a V.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you, Gina.
Thanks, Gina.
Bye.
I think we still have some more guests back there.
We do.
I think I see like a Tintry person back there.
He's shy.
Come on, Merlin.
Any minute now.
I was not expecting this. I should have expected it.
It's because I'm a bad person.
Hi.
By the way.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Do you want to introduce yourself to the audience?
Hello, audience. I'm Merlin. I'm from Canada, and I work for Tintry.
Oh, we have another Canadian.
No do to boo today.
Are you speaking Canadian?
Shameful.
Well, depends on which Canadians you talk to. I'm speaking the American version of Canadian.
Apparently, science is proven to talk like Valley girls.
Do they have a Rosetta Stone for Canadian?
It's known as coffee.
But you have to introduce yourself.
Oh, I have to introduce myself. I'm me. I'm a writer. I'm a sysadmin. I spend all of my time getting into as much trouble as I can.
That sounds fun. Where do I sign up?
Yeah.
So how's the show been for the Tintry booth? It seems really happening. I know you guys were giving away an Apple Watch, and every time I go over there, it seems to be really crowded.
We're giving an Apple Watch away with every demo, and I was just talking with a guy on Facebook it's his first time at VMworld, and he's going to every one of our demos to try and win the Apple Watch. And I told him, "You're dedicated, man." I almost want to see, like, if he doesn't win the Apple Watch, I should tell marketing. It's like, this guy went to every one of our things. You should probably give him an Apple Watch.
So why should people come to the Tintry booth? Now, I know you guys made some announcements recently and some new product launches.
They should come to the Tintry booth if they want to learn about storage. It's going to free them from their sort of traditional storage that they've got today. So eliminating the need to manage LUNs and massive amounts of sort of management overhead. We did make some announcements. We've released an all-flash array, which
I find it interesting that you guys have an all-flash array now, and you're getting into that space that I'm gonna say I was actually shocked. I'm like, oh wow, they have all-flash.
We've always kind of been all-flash. So
True, but now it's truly like all-flash.
It was 99% there since 2011. So all we've really done was stripped out the spinning disks and just put all flash in. So it's kind of been one of the most anticlimactic demos at the booth, where it's like the sales guys are all super hyped about it. They're like, oh, you got to show this customer the new all flash. It's amazing. It's so crazy. And then like, it's a lot of customers that already use us. And they're like, the sales guy said, you got to show us the all flash. And I show it to them. And they're like, this looks exactly the same as what I'm using today. And we're like, yeah, because it is exactly the same as what you're using today, just with all flash.
Yeah. And that's what I was thinking, like, oh, all flash, great. But what's it going to do for you? You know, because if you're already performing really well.
Well, it allows us to perform better. And the biggest thing is choice, to give customers the choice to either have the hybrid systems or the all flash systems, because the hybrid systems do work exceedingly well, but there are some small circumstances where customers are going to want higher throughput and lower latency. And that's what the all flash is for. And it's to get us in to talk about more people. So,
Well, that's good. I think offering flexibility is important, because if you don't need flash, why use it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's expensive.
Yeah.
I just like that there's no LUNs, quite honestly. LUNs need to die. They're a horrible idea.
free yourself from the lunacy. Go talk to Carl. He'll tell you all about it. And he's wandering around the floor, and I don't actually have the badge in marketing, they get me in trouble for it. But people that have the I Heart Tintry badges or whatever that we're putting out right now, if Carl sees you on the show floor, you'll get free goodies. And so he's wandering around. You'll find him. He's the guy who's got like a kind of big poofy hair and glasses, and he has a very interesting disposition. He will give you free stuff.
Everybody loves free stuff.
That's what we're all here for, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Everyone's here for the swag.
Just the free stuff.
We're here because we love VMware. Yes.
This we love you, VMware.
So then I have to ask my standard question. Then, so what are each of you most excited about? What you've learned in the past few days? What has you excited about this current VMworld?
Well, I'm just here to find new and exciting people to troll.
You're good at that.
I wanted to try Tinder in a new area code. No.
Okay, that's a great answer.
I was kidding about that.
Well played.
Just excited to see what's new with VMware. vSphere 6 was coming for the last two VMworlds, and it's finally here. So I'd like to see what's new with it, and just see what else everyone else is working on.
Great. Thank you for stopping by, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
One more surprise guest.
One more. Who is it this time?
Oh, me? Am I
Here?
Oh, you're the surprise guest.
The guest is
Actually,
surprised that they're a guest.
Well, I was surprised that the guest was actually at VMworld. When I saw that he tweeted he was
I
coming in, I'm like,
know.
oh wow.
It falls
So
in
we're all
line
surprised.
with Gina.
So make sure you
So-
introduce yourself this time.
Yes. Let's,
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah, we're all friends,
We're all just friends.
Forget that no one else knows.
You want me to introduce myself?
Yeah.
So my name is J. Peter Brzezzi, and I'm an Office 365 MVP, which is why it's odd that I'm here at VMworld. But I'm also a journalist for InfoWorld. I write the Enterprise Windows column. So I'm here at the show to evaluate where things are at in terms of VMware, not from the hypervisor perspective. I think those wars are kind of done. I'm here more to see what their plans are with regard to the cloud, vCloud Air, the hybrid approach. And based upon the keynote yesterday, I was glad I came. I think that I got a new perspective on where things are at and who the major players are going to be in the year or 2 years ahead from where we are now.
So what do you think of Microsoft and VMware on the same stage this morning?
I think that it's a smart move to stop being enemies and start working together kind of thing. But I don't see that as being anything more than maybe a PR thing. From what I can see, the complexity here is that VMware has been focused so much on their hypervisor for years, and now they're realizing, hey, we kind of missed this cloud boat. They want to get back into it. The thing is that they can do it with this hybrid movement. Smart move. Amazon Web Services, as large as they are, as big as they are, their problem is that they, in order for them to get in the game, they have to come out of the cloud and come on premises. Well, with what? They don't have a hypervisor in the fight, and they don't have any server solutions to put in the game. So I think that it's going to be VMware and Microsoft going forward, even for a fight for the cloud. So nice to have them together for a moment, but I don't think that's the future. I think the future is for these two to be pitted against each other again, yet again.
So the cloud that's here to stay, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess it
Office
depends.
365
I think it's gonna stick
MVP.
around. I think there's a lot of money in it right now. So,
I
yeah, I
agree.
don't see it going anywhere anytime soon.
I agree.
So it's not a fad.
No, no, not a fad. In fact, I think we see more and more people going to it. The more they can provide a measure of security and comfortability. I think people are afraid, right? Fear, uncertainty, doubt, the FUD. People are afraid. In fact, just this morning, I was at Mimecast headquarters, not headquarters, but one of their branch offices here in San Francisco. And we were having a roundtable discussion about Office 365, the cloud, and what prevents people from making that move, and how can third-party solutions like Mimecast or other solutions assist in that shift by providing that added layer of comfortability. Even with on-premises servers, we do that all the time. We don't just deploy a Microsoft server and walk away and say, oh, we're good. No, typically, there's an ecosystem that surrounds it. You set up with an Exchange server, you'll set up appliances for security and archiving and monitoring. And, you might go with, let's say, an eNow Mailscape solution for monitoring, or you might, throw in Mimecast for a cloud-based security and archiving. We have this ecosystem, but with Office 365, people seem to be sleepwalking into the cloud and not thinking about the ecosystem to surround it. So, and others are just so afraid they're staying out of it completely. So I think there needs to be a bit of an added level of education that the cloud vendors are providing part of the solution, and you need to look to third parties to provide the other part of the solution, just like we do on premises.
That's really good advice.
And thank you for saying premises.
Well, right, because on premise, it's it's really the better word, right? It's on premise, not on premises, right?
No.
Is it on premises, not on premise?
Yes. It's like,
I know it's always spelled differently than it's stated.
Yes.
So this is your first VMworld. Do you think you'll come back?
Well, it depends. I mean, I'm here sort of as an opportunity to not only see what VMware is doing, but also look at third-party solutions on the floor. I had a nice time yesterday, and I'll be writing about that in InfoWorld, some of the third-party solutions. I also had a couple of books out on the floor. I have a new line of books called Conversational Geek, and these are vendor-sponsored educational marketing books. So Navisite did one on managed DAS with David Davis, vExpert, wrote that one. And then Brian Posey wrote one for AppSense on user environment management. So both books were on the floor, and we're kind of going to take the educational marketing world by storm with this new line of Conversational Geek books.
We were in some Tucson, did some work on one of your books.
That's right. We did Conversational Exchange last year, which is it's a little thicker than the other books that we have now, but you guys both did a fantastic job. We worked together to create something that I think is unique in the exchange world, because it's not one of those 1,000-page how-to books. It's more of a conversational flow on how did exchange evolve and where are we at in terms of the concepts and the technology in a way that anyone can read it and understand. Almost anyone can read it and understand without having to kind of break your brain with stuff that, these 1,000-page books, I can't even give these away anymore. I have one out that's 1,000 pages on Exchange 2013. And literally at conferences, nobody wants to win that when I do a raffle. They want the Conversational Exchange book because it's only 150 pages and it's something that they can digest. So that's sort of the point of Conversational Geek, is digestible educational materials.
Awesome. Okay.
So I think we have one more guest. That's another
guest.
Yeah, another. I know, surprises.
Well, very good. Well, thank you very much for having me on your show.
Thank you for coming.
We'll see you
and
later.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
I will.
And can we do like one more guest for like 2 minutes? Oh. Yeah, we got one more. We got 2 minutes.
How are you?
Hi.
Hi, Yale.
Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, this is Yale Zhang. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of TeamTree. How are you?
Good. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us.
So we have like 2 minutes. So we all know why you're here, but what is your? That's my alarm on my phone. Sorry.
No problem.
What have you found this show compared to other years is different, and how is it benefiting TeamTree?
Oh gosh, every show is slightly different, and this is, I think, the 12th VMworld, right? Yeah, I think they started in 2014. Actually, my team started this 12 years ago. So coming back here, it's always kind of funny feeling like you're seeing your baby kind of growing up. So this year, I think that there's probably an even greater emphasis on this whole notion about hybrid cloud. And we talked a lot about it yesterday. And then I think that today, through the presentation that Martine did on NSX and also EUC, it kind of ties the whole thing together. So I think that it just VMware keeps on kind of extending and further defining what their vision of SDDC and hybrid cloud and EUC, all the different pieces that kind of tie together. Each year we hear a little bit more specifics. The piece we heard yesterday about the cross-cloud vMotion, that was actually very cool. So I definitely look forward to hearing more about that.
Do you guys have any quick questions before we sign off?
Awesome. I think, yeah, no, I think we got to call it a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Yep. Thanks everybody for watching Current Status. Enjoy the rest of VMworld.
Thank you.